Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the FIFA Flow podcast, guys. Today we got a big episode, guys. Champions League football quarterfinal draw, guys. Amazing draw, amazing predictions. And man, this is probably the best quarterfinals we have seen in the Champions League history, guys. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that today. Make our predictions. Talk about the second legs of the Champions League round of 16. No league games today, unfortunately. However, we're gonna be talking about the FA Cup. We had a game recently today. Earlier today, United versus Liverpool, and one of the best games this season by far, especially between the rivalry and the history between the two clubs. Probably one of the best games. And it's for a cup as well, so it makes it even more interesting as well. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Champions League second legs of the round of 16 and make our predictions for the quarterfinal of the Champions League. As I said, we're not going to be talking about any of the league games or league tables. Nothing really interesting this week or last week as well, since our last podcast. However, we will be looking over when we do make our predictions. We're going to be looking over the league table to look at the teams' like previous performances, their current performances, and also their injuries and stuff, just the statistics of the teams in their table and their past few games as well when we do the predictions. So yeah, let's get right into it, guys. Like usual, let's start it off with the FA Cup, guys. FA Cup, United versus Liverpool. I mean, probably one of the best games this season by far, man. At least the best game between these two teams, and probably as well is probably the best game that United has ever played this season as well. United, man, for somehow, some way they ended up winning, and as I said, probably their best performances. You always notice this repetition with United, under Erik ten Hag as well, especially, is they always seem to do really well in the first 20-30 minutes of the game, and then somehow they end up just falling apart, losing composure. And I think the reason we see this is because I feel like sometimes they just start to take things either too fast. They say, okay, we score a goal, let's take things fast, score another goal, so then they can have that 2-goal, 3-goal, whatever, have a bigger goal difference, so they can go on to win the game. I think that's one thing. And I think the second thing is that, yeah, as I said, sometimes they take it too easy as well. They either take it too fast or they start playing too easy, because they say, okay, we're in the lead, we don't need to do anything crazy, let's calm it down, play slower. And when they do play slower, they don't create the same amount of chances as they should. So there's not really a consistency throughout the whole game with this United team this season. And that's what you see every season. But or not every season, every game for United recently. But I think like in the past month or so, United have definitely been doing better. And I think a crucial reason is of course no Europa League, no European competition. All they have to focus on is the Premier League, getting top 4 for that Champions League next season, and also hopefully, if for their standards, go on to the FA Cup final and hopefully win it. Of course, in the quarterfinals or in the semifinals, they were lucky enough to draw Coventry City, who beat Wolves yesterday. And then on the other side of the table, in the semifinals, we have Manchester City, who beat Newcastle yesterday, as well as Chelsea. So we have City versus Chelsea, and then United versus Coventry City. So those two games, two of them will win, go to the final. So that is United's best main focus for sure, as well as getting top 4 for the Champions League. So I think the reason why we see United not play as sloppy as they have in before the winter, or before the January transfer window, is because of as I said, focus on the Premier League, on the FA Cup. One thing, bro, it's every single time that there's rumors and there's talks about Erik ten Hag leaving the club, they somehow find a way to perform really good and save his job, which is really unfortunate. I mean, fair play to Erik ten Hag. I mean, he's trusting his youngsters. Kobe Manu, man, what a player this guy is. Garnacho, of course, we've seen him before. and he's continuing to develop even further. Of course, idolizing players like Lionel Messi from his nationality and Cristiano Ronaldo from Man United. But yeah, as I said, he's developing even further on, which is amazing to see. He's becoming more mature. He knows the runs to make. On the ball, he's spectacular for sure. And as I said, Kobe Mainoo as well, man. This guy really reminds me of a Warren Zaire-Emery type role. He's a very, very solid defensive midfielder for sure. A box-to-box midfielder, good on the ball, good at moving the ball around. He's like a pivot in the midfield for sure. And that allows Scott McTominay, who's not really a defensive midfielder, more like a box-to-box or an attacking midfielder, to go up a bit more. So I think that's really good that they have a young player like Kobe Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho for sure. So amazing game from those two. Trusting the young players. As I said, United, man, always, like, whenever there's rumors of Erik ten Hag going to leave the club, they always somehow win in a very important game. The moment after, a few days after that rumors come out. So as I said, it's very unfortunate, but at the same time, fair play to United and Erik ten Hag. It's just there's a lot of benefits that United have compared to a team like Liverpool, City, and more of the top tier teams, European teams. The thing with United is, in the start of the season, they're just so bad that they get disqualified from European competitions or even domestic English competitions, that there's not as many games they have to focus on. So right now there's only two competitions, FA Cup, and which they have Coventry City next, so easy for them to go to the final, and also Premier League. So you can't really say much. You can't really say much that, oh, United are a big team. We beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. We knocked them out. We're the best team in the world. Look at our comeback. Erik ten Hag, he's the best. You can't really say that stuff. I think you have to give it time, a few months, at least half a season for sure. So we'll see how it gets into the next season. Of course, when they make signings back into the Champions League, and can they handle all the pressure of all those games is what we have to figure out for sure. Because right now, FA Cup and Premier League is their main focus. But that is that. Let's talk about the game itself as well. Amazing game. As I said, we talked about the players, the goals as well. Liverpool, unfortunately, man, they did play really good in the first half. As I said, United's the first goal was a bit lucky for sure. I think it was Marcus Rashford or Bruno Fernandes who kind of does like a finesse shot from a tight angle here inside the box, and Kelleher saves the shot. But then it's, as I said, Scott McTominay who just gets the rebound off the shot and gets into the back of the net. One thing I will say for sure, man, without the presence of Thibaut Courtois as well as Alisson both being injured for Liverpool and Real Madrid, the backup keepers Kelleher and also Lunin, man, they're doing really good this season. So like it's unbelievable. They're playing Champions League football. At least Kelleher is playing Europa League football, Lunin Champions League football, and I feel like a lot of people would have expected worse outcomes from these teams, but somehow, like, fair play to Kelleher and Lunin, and I think what this definitely shows that I think that next season we're definitely gonna see less play time for these bigger keepers like Thibaut Courtois and also Alisson, and the possibility of them even leaving the club as well. Maybe that's a bit too much of an exaggeration, but there is the possibility that, okay, we see a future in Lunin. Let's sell Thibaut Courtois while he's at a good value before he starts to drop down in form and in value. Maybe sell him to Saudi, who wants the money as well. So, and then sign another backup keeper and let Lunin be the main player to get more experience and become better for sure. So we could definitely see that happening. I think it's a bit too much to say right now at the moment. And they haven't really had any big games like Lunin. They had RB Leipzig. So we're going to see how Lunin plays against Man City. Unfortunately, I do think that Thibaut Courtois will be back before the fixture for sure, before the first leg. So we're not going to see if Lunin is really that guy, but I think we have to give more respect to Lunin, more respect to Kelleher, who should get more playing time. And I think that's what I want to see at PSG as well. I remember when Donnarumma got a red card, we put on our new Tenas, I think that's his name. I think he came from the Barcelona academy as well. And he was spectacular. So we got to give more playing time to these young goalkeepers for sure. Going back to the game, as I said, United with that first goal with the rebound, and then it was Liverpool who come back with who scored the first goal? McAllister. I thought Endo. No, I'm pretty sure Endo scored the first goal. I guess not. But where was I? Yeah, McAllister. He scored a screamer goal. I think the Endo goal was offside. I think that's what it was. But yeah, we have McAllister scoring a nice goal for sure. Who was it? I think it was this Kwanish guy, this youngster from Liverpool, center back, who drags the ball up. He moves the ball with him up, and then he crosses it in, or kind of does a far post pass to Darwin Nunez, who does a one-touch pass to McAllister at the top of the box, and he just power shots it near post. Amazing goal, and amazing movement by Kwanzaa, whatever his name is. But fair play there. And then Mohamed Salah goes to score the second goal. I don't quite remember that goal. And at that stage, I was like, okay, the game has to be not done, but like we've seen this happen before, where United, they score the first goal and then they just fall apart. Like we've seen that before. I was talking about it just a few minutes ago. Where United, they do good, they lose their consistency. They lose their consistency, get conceded on, and lose the game. So when I saw that, the first 20 minutes, United did good. First 20-30 minutes, they did good. Liverpool started taking the lead, and United just started falling apart. I thought, okay, now this is where the time where United fall apart, they lose the game. But then Marcus Anthony, who got, I would say it was a pretty lucky goal. Not lucky, but like, it was pretty unexpected. He was kind of being pressured on. His back was towards the net, and then he just turns around and hits it softly, low ground, into the bottom corner of the net. But I mean, it was still a pretty decent goal. 2 goals in all competitions this season. Finished player, bro. Finished player. Honestly, I think if Jadon Sancho had the playing time that Anthony got, Jadon Sancho would be so much more better than Anthony was. Man, the clips I've seen of Jadon Sancho back on loan to Borussia Dortmund, what a player, man. I don't know how he's not being, I don't know why he wasn't used at United. I think it's just the play style. I think he didn't really fit in Ten Hag's role, and I think Ten Hag kind of trusted Anthony more because of his time at both of the times at Ajax for sure. So that's another main reason. But yeah, Anthony tied it in the 87th minute, making it 2-2. And then we had Marcus Rashford, who got 112th minute goal. I don't quite remember this one either. What was this goal? I do not remember that goal. But then, actually I do remember that goal. It was Darwin Nunez, who's somehow, for some reason, is near the top of the box. He tries to carry the ball out, loses the ball. Just like he needs to move it faster. I think he didn't move it fast enough. Thought he can dribble around, and then I think it was Scott McTominay who intercepts the ball around the 35 yards of the pitch. Gets the ball, passes it to Rashford, and then Rashford just he gets the ball. He does a through ball to Rashford, who was onside, and then Rashford just taps it in behind Kelleher, like a finesse shot near post. So yeah, just sloppy from Darwin Nunez, really well intercepted by Scott McTominay, as I said, and then Rashford, amazing run through the middle of the of Van Dijk and Kwanzaa, whatever his name is, and then taps it in near post. And then lastly, that made it 3-3. And then in the final minute, 120 minute, it was a corner for Liverpool. They lose the header. It goes back out to the top, and then it was Endo and Harvey Elliott who kind of collide with each other. Like they're both trying to get the ball. They don't know what's like, or who's getting the ball, so they kind of back away from it. It rebounds away from both of them, and it was Alejandro Garnacho who goes on the run against one Liverpool defender. Goes, yeah, he's on the run. Him and Ahmad, Garnacho and Ahmad on the run, 2v1. And of course, it was 2v1 against a young Liverpool defender, not really experienced, doesn't know how to push or where to mark. To be fair, it was a 2 against 1, wide space. It was a quick counterattack, so all that pressure was definitely hard to defend. But still, like, it was a young player as well, so you already knew they were gonna score for sure. And then he goes ahead, taps it in bottom right of the net, and then they go on to win in the last minute. And then he unfortunately he did celebrate with his shirt off. Got a red card for it, but at that point it was the last pass of the game, last play of the game. They ended up winning the match. But yeah, one of the best games so far this season. So much like, oh, United in the lead, Liverpool come back. United draw it, Liverpool in the lead again. United draw it, and then last minute winner for United for sure. But yeah, it was pretty sloppy for Liverpool. I think for sure for Liverpool in both the first half of extra time and the second half of extra time, they definitely played very, very sloppy. Didn't know how to move the ball, couldn't pass the ball, always losing the ball for sure. So unlucky there, but that is the FA Cup. Let's go ahead, talk about the Champions League. As you guys can see over here, we have the quarterfinals as well. Barcelona versus PSG, Atletico de Madrid versus Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid versus Manchester City. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. First, let's go ahead talk about the semi-final game. So first, let's start it off with Inter Milan versus Atletico de Madrid. What a game this was. I think I definitely expected more of a defensive-oriented game. Of course, Atletico de Madrid being a 5-back team, very defensive team. Inter Milan kind of playing very similar defensively in a 3-back, a 3-5-2 type formation. But I think both teams did play very defensively. But I think because they played very defensively, the game kept going back and forth because of their defensiveness. They got the ball back right away, and then it just went to the other side. So for sure, I think it was the defensive game, but also because of their defensiveness, they kept on switching the ball. The ball kept going back and forth, side to side, end to end of the pitch. So it was definitely one of the best games of the round of 16 for sure. But where were we? Yeah, for sure. I think in the first half, Atletico de Madrid were the dominant team. Inter Milan went on to score first, which was a nice goal. It was a cutback goal. Barella into Di Marco, and then he just taps it in. No one really marking Di Marco in the middle of the box. And then a quick over-the-top through ball to Antoine Griezmann, just in behind the defense, like a lob over. And then he goes on to score. Taps it in as well. But for the most part, I will say that Atletico de Madrid in the first half created very good chances, crossing it in to Alvaro Morata, whether it was De Paul, Marcos Llorente, whoever they have in the team, Pablo, I forgot his name, but where were we? Yeah, Atletico de Madrid definitely had a lot of opportunities in the first half in crossing it in and stuff. But for the amount of chances that Inter had, they didn't have as many chances as Atletico de Madrid, but they create that for the amount of less chances that Inter had, they had a very similar expected goals. Like the outcome of their, like let's say they had 5 shots against Atletico's 10 shots, they still both had an even amount of expected goals for sure. I think what they could make out of their shots was definitely greater than what Atletico was. I think Atletico's main goal was just try to get the ball into the box, and whatever happens, happens. Even if they don't get it, they don't get it. If they get it, they try to shoot and maybe they miss or get saved or they score. On the other hand, Inter, they tried to take their time with it. They tried to be more efficient with the ball in their attack. So I think that's how I can sum up the first half. And then the second half, pretty similar as well. Atletico de Madrid dominating the half. Is more in their side, in Inter's half for sure. And then yeah, it was just a quick ball to Depay. Depay kind of has his back towards the net, trying to be physical. Quickly turns around and then he goes ahead and scores. So yeah, very very great game. I wanted Inter to win because of course Atletico de Madrid, the 5 backs, Diego Simeone, you already know the dirty football. But yeah, it went on to extra time. It was a draw in extra time. It went on to pens where Inter had 2 saved pens, I believe, or 3 saved pens. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez missed one. This Davy Clanson guy missed one. And then Fartaro Martinez, bro. This guy, bro. The biggest joke, man. He also missed his pen. I think that was the deciding pen as well. So, unlucky there. Jan Oblak, man. This guy had a lot of good saves. As I said, Inter, they had less shots than Atletico de Madrid, but they were more efficient with their shots. But I think the reason why they couldn't really score any goals or get good opportunities was because of how good Jan Oblak was. He decided to be in his prime yet again. So very very well played by Jan Oblak for sure. But that is that game right there. Borussia Dortmund go on. Yeah, I think it was 1-1 in the first leg, and then they went on to win 2-0 in the second leg. But yeah, we're not going to be talking about that. PSG versus Real Sociedad. What a game, of course. Kylian Mbappe saving Paris Saint-Germain yet again, of course. So, yeah, Ousmane Dembele, a bit of a different role for him this game for sure. He was more of a false 9, you can definitely tell. More of that creating player rather than that player on the wing, cutting inside like a wing type striker. But for sure, I think I prefer Dembele more on the wing than as a false 9. I'd rather prefer Asensio, Marco Asensio, as a false 9. I think he's a much better false 9. Of course, he knows how to play that kind of tiki-taka role at Real Madrid, so I think he would be the better false 9. And even at the start of the season, we can definitely tell as him playing in that false 9 role, coming back to retrieve the ball and then pass it forward was definitely very efficient for PSG before he got injured. But hopefully he comes back and he can go into that false 9 role, because I think Mbappe on the left and then Dembele on the right, kind of those speedsters, those dribblers, is very very deadly for sure. I think we need a player who can play as a false 9, but also someone who can score goals. It's very difficult. We need how do I explain this? Because Colomwani and Goncalo Ramos are very good at scoring goals. I think they need more development for sure. They're not crazy for us, but they're a good physical striker in the box who, when they get the ball, they can have a shot on net for sure. They need more development. Those are the players who can hopefully develop into a striker like Haaland or Osimhen, a goal scoring machine. That's what they are. But on the other hand, Marco Asensio is more like a false 9, an assisting player, a dribbler, not really a shooter. But we need all 3 of them in the team. We need Dembele and Mbappe in the team, Asensio in the team. But at the same time, we also need a goal scoring, a goal machine like Colomwani in the team. So it's very difficult. I think the only way we can do that is a 3-back, or having 2 midfielders. But yeah, Dembele is a false 9. I mean, he got an assist, of course, to Kylian Mbappe. I mean, how hard is it to get an assist for Mbappe, man? If he gets the ball, he touches the ball, he gets a chance and he scores for sure. The first goal, very very good. He goes down to the wing, comes back, does a fake shot, gets the defender away from him, and then goes more forward to get the finesse angle far post and goes ahead and scores. The second goal, Vitinha over the lob through ball to Mbappe. Mbappe one-on-one with the keeper, and he does the special. What's so special about Mbappe is the way that he can angle his body. He can open up his body to shoot to make it look like he's gonna shoot far post, and just making it look like he's gonna open up his body, move his shoulders to shoot far post. That makes the keeper kind of move towards the left, angle his foot towards the left. He kind of goes towards that far post side, and then that loses the keeper's momentum to go back to the near post where Mbappe ends up shooting. So that's what Mbappe is so good at, to open up his body, shoot it far post, and just that animation that he does to then shoot a near post just tricks the keeper, makes him kind of angle himself to the left, to the far post, and then loses that momentum to come back to the near post. So that is Mbappe for you. And then at that moment, 2-0, it was 4-0 on aggregate. I already knew we won. So that is PSG for you. And then what else do we have? Barcelona, Napoli. What a great game. We won't really talk about the goals and stuff, but I just want to talk about two players. Kubarsi, man. What a player, man. Spectacular center back. Man, the future of football is in really good hands. Of course, we got Kubarsi, who's an amazing center back. We have Lucas Beraldo at Paris Saint-Germain. Very, very similar to Kubarsi's playstyle in terms of good on the ball. Very physical, good at marking those runs. Reading the play of the game. I think he's very, very similar to Kubarsi. So yeah, Lucas Beraldo, Kubarsi. We have Fermin Lopez. We have Warren Zaire-Emery, Kobe Mainu, Arda Güler. So I just want to talk about that Kubarsi, man. Great center back for sure. Yeah, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal. Man, this guy, guys, as much as I hate Barcelona, maybe not hate them, I really respect them. They're a very, very talented club. The only reason I hate them is because, of course, someone I know, one of my friends are kind of they're a Barca fan, of course, lifelong Barca fan. So I kind of banter on Barcelona, but I think that's just part of the game, of course. Banter on other clubs. But from a football perspective, in all seriousness, as a PSG fan, even as a football fan, if you look at this, Barcelona, man, are an amazing, amazing team. Even as a PSG fan, when we drew them in the Champions League, in all honesty, I'm pretty nervous. I really do think Barcelona can knock out PSG with the way that PSG are playing. We did win 6-2 today against Montpellier, but still, I think Barcelona can be a very dangerous team. The way they play, they're good at moving the ball, holding possession of the ball. But at the same time, under Luis Enrique, we kind of know how to play to counter a Barcelona play style for sure. So you never know. But yeah, not really going to talk about this game. Is there really any other games we need to talk about? Real Madrid versus RB Leipzig. Just a quick overview on that. Probably one of the worst games I've ever seen Real Madrid ever play, man. They were so sloppy in the first half, and it definitely wasn't them. They were at home, of course. They were up 1-0 from the first leg. You can definitely tell there's a difference from playing sloppy and playing easily because they know they're in the lead. Playing easily is them holding possession of the ball, playing slowly. Playing sloppily is losing the ball every time they have an attack. Don't create any good chances. Lose the ball every few minutes. Taking their time, playing slowly, park the bus, is them holding the ball, taking their time on the attack, passing in the back until they wait for that clear opportunity. But Real Madrid in that first half were definitely more sloppy than park the bus. So I just want to note that probably one of the worst sides, Luis Openda, bro. This Belgian guy that RB Leipzig signed this summer from the Ligue 1. Bro, this guy is probably the biggest fraud. They need to sell him now, bro. Get Timo Werner, recall Timo Werner back on loan. Because, bro, the amount of chances that Openda had, bro, and he missed them, bro. He's probably worse than Lautaro Martinez. Gotta be honest. Lastly, before we move on to the quarterfinal predictions, do we want to talk about? Yeah, I think we'll talk about, or just do a quick overview on that as well. But over here, Arsenal and Porto, what a game, man. Arsenal, Porto, bro. I think a lot of people slept on Porto. Pepe, bro, 41 years old, the oldest player to ever play in the Champions League. And somehow, bro, he's playing like he's in his prime. He's playing like it's a final, a World Cup final, man. Pepe, 41 years old, and he is probably the best defender on that pitch. He had a ball. He had a goal line clearance. He was reading everything. I don't know how he does that at 41 years old. Like he was just a different breed. But yeah, Arsenal, very very well played by Arsenal. They had some very good attacks. Man, when I was watching those highlights, when I was watching the game as well, Martin Odegaard, bro, this guy is like, man, he's probably, if he's injured, man, I don't know how Arsenal would survive, because in almost every attack, the ball, he's like a pivot in the midfield, not a defensive pivot, but like he's there. He's the main man. The ball always finds a way through him. The ball always goes through him in every attack. In some point of the attack, he touches the ball. He creates a chance. And that Trossard goal, man, the way he did a 1-2 with Trossard, he gets the ball, he goes back and touches to the left, and then outside, and then he just softly hits it in behind, and then Trossard far post, man. The way that he kind of touched that, if you guys know FIFA, he basically did an L1 and then like with the left stick dragging backwards, where he moves the ball backwards. That's what he did. He did a L1, he did a L1 R1 and then move the ball to the right. It's like he does like a kind of like a flick back, like he moves the ball backwards, moves it to either side, left or right, or in his case to the left, goes around the player, and then does a through ball in behind the defense to Trossard. What a 1-2 play, man. Martin Odegaard, I guarantee you, man, if Madrid did not sell Martin Odegaard, we would not have seen Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid. I think that would have been our case. I think he's a very similar player to Jude Bellingham for sure. He's tall. He has that presence in game. Maybe not the same defensive work rates, but definitely in the attack, they're very, very similar players. So that is that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the Champions League quarterfinal predictions, guys. Starting off with Manchester City and Real Madrid. So, of course, I mean, in this scenario, man, there's probably no easy games for any team, but probably Borussia Dortmund are the easiest team in here. Let's start off with Man City and Real Madrid, and I do see a lot of people online are mad that Man City drew Madrid, but I think at the end of the day, I think either way, because Madrid are just too good, I think either way, whether it would have been the semifinals or even the final, I think in any scenario, I think in any scenario, Madrid would have made it to the semifinals or finals, and same with City, and they would have ended up having to play each other at some point of the tournament. So it's either now or it's either later in the tournament, they would have played each other. I think that would have happened, because I think if Madrid got Arsenal, easy win. Munich, easy win. PSG, maybe. I think PSG could handle them. Barcelona, I think easy win for Madrid. Atletico de Madrid, easy win for Madrid, for Real. Dortmund, easy win for Real. Man City, they beat any team. Of course, they're probably the best team in the world at the moment by miles. So, because of that, let's say if we go ahead and take a look at the Champions League. If you take a look at the table, if let's say City were on this side, City were up here, let's say City were on the opposite side of the table, or we're on the other quarterfinal draw here, I think Madrid would have went through to the semis, and same with City, and they would have ended up having to play anyway. So I think there's a lot of people mad, a lot of Madrid fans mad, but I think at the end of the day, they would have played each other at some point. For me, where is the first game being held? First game is going to be at the Santiago Bernabeu. I think 2-2. Maybe even 2-3. I think 2. No, I think 2-2. I think 2-2 or 2-3. I feel like the presence of Jude Bellingham can really change the game. That guy, man, is crazy. I feel like he can definitely. He's very similar to Kevin De Bruyne. That's why. And they didn't really have that the last season when they played against City. They didn't really have that kind of big player who can defend. Like they didn't have like a player who can oppose to Kevin De Bruyne. They're kind of someone who can copy Kevin De Bruyne. I think 2-2. I think it's gonna be a draw, or it's gonna be either Madrid win by 1, so 3-2, or City win by 1. I think at the end of the day, when it comes back to the Etihad Stadium in the second leg, that City will end up winning. Like let's say it's 3-2 like this. I think City will come back and win. I think Madrid's best hope is that they have to get a draw at least. If they lose like 2-1, let's say, or 3-2, then I think it's over for them. I think City easily win at their own home. So I think they have to get a draw at least to have a chance at the Emirates at the Etihad Stadium to win. First team to score? No, I'm good. Arsenal versus Bayern. The last time Arsenal played Bayern in the Champions League was 2014, where in both legs, the first and second leg, Bayern won 5-1. So, but this year is different. That was 2014 Arsenal. That's 2014 Bayern with Robin, Ribery. Now we have Bayern Munich, who are not that consistent, who possibly might lose the league after 10 years to Leverkusen, who came out of nowhere. And we have Arsenal, who are probably doing the best, top of the Premier League after who knows how many years, back into the Champions League after who knows how many years as well, after quite a few years. So it's a lot different story now. Arsenal is stronger, Bayern are weaker. The first game will be played in the Emirates Stadium. So I'm going to go not 2-0. I think it's going to be a draw again. I think it's going to be a draw. That Harry Kane factor, though, is very, very important. Musiala. I can either see 2. I think 3-1. I can see 3-1. Either 3-1 or 2-1. I think we'll go 2-1. I think Bayern will win. But it's definitely not going to be an easy win for sure. I think Arsenal are a very strong team and can definitely handle Bayern Munich. PSG Barcelona. Guys, this could not have been an easier... I don't think there could have been an easier setup for PSG in this. An easier outcome for PSG. We match Barcelona. And then our opposing, if we beat Barcelona, we have Atletico or Borussia Dortmund. At least we do not have Madrid City. I think Bayern beat us. I even think that Arsenal have higher odds at beating PSG. I really do think that. Unfortunately, it's just that sometimes PSG are inconsistent. I think Arsenal are more consistent. But PSG and Barcelona, the first leg will be played at the Parc des Princes. So I'm gonna go 2-1. I think PSG will win the first leg. But the second leg is where it's gonna get difficult. I think 2-1 or even 3-1. I gotta say, because PSG, man, at home are different gravy. All respect to Barcelona. I think Barcelona I think Barcelona are probably I'd say a top 5 team this season. I think if I had to choose my top 5 teams in all competitions this season, I think it'd be Real Madrid, Man City, Leverkusen, probably PSG. I'm gonna say Arsenal as well, and maybe Liverpool as well. This is 6 now. And I say Barcelona is there. Maybe there's no order yet, or there's off the top of my mind, those are the 7 best teams in the world. For me personally. So, I really do respect Barcelona, man. The way they play football is just, it's really nice to watch them play, man. I love watching them play. They control the game. The way they control the game is very nice. The tiki-taka, they take their time. The possession, I think it's very nice. But we're starting to see that as well with PSG as well. They're playing more possession based, taking their time because of course of Luis Enrique. So I think it's gonna be difficult, but as I said, PSG at home, man, are always so good, man. We're the best team in the world, but when we play away, we're like, it's like we turn into like a fifth division Premier League team, man. Now maybe not that much bad, but it's like we're like a mid-table Premier League team when we play away. But PSG at home is a different gravy, and then, yeah, as I said, with all due respect to Barcelona, man, like truly, I really do think Barcelona are a really good team. I think PSG will win at home. And then it really depends on the second half. It really depends how it goes. The injuries and stuff, I think all of that matters. But as it stands right now, if we're talking about the best players, like at their full peak, like let's say Pedri and De Jong come back, and then let's say we have Dembele, Mbappe, Marquinhos, let's say they're back as well. Then I let's say it's like the best players that they have playing each other. I think in that scenario, PSG still win 3-1. I think that. But in the second half, going back to Barcelona, I think it would be a draw in Barcelona. Maybe they come back. Like if it's 3-1 here, I think Barcelona could win 2-1. Let's say. I think they'll win the second leg, but on aggregate, we're still gonna win. I think that's what's gonna happen, or it's gonna be a draw and then we'll still win. So I think we win the first half for sure. Atletico de Madrid and Barcelona. I think 2-0 for Atletico. I think Atletico have the first match at home as well, and Atletico at home are a very good team. So I'm gonna go 2-0 there. Those are my predictions. And then if we go to the second leg, we had 2-0 here. I'm gonna go maybe 2-2 or 1-1. I think 1-1. Because just the way that, like, I think Dortmund at home are very good, but just the way that Atletico play, man, like they're probably gonna draw it and go through. Over here, I think Barcelona win 2-1, but on aggregate, since we won 3-1 at home, I think PSG will go through. Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. I think Bayern win this. They're gonna be at home, of course. So I think 3-0, honestly. At home, Bayern are a different gravy. And then, yeah, Man City over here, I think 3-1 for City. So, yeah, those are my predictions for the Champions League quarterfinals. And if you take a look over here, like PSG in recent forms, I think PSG are 27. I think we're getting to, 28 games undefeated. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 23 games undefeated. But if we talk about the Champions League specifically, 23, you minus that other one, 21, 22, 23, 24, or 24, 25, 27. 31. So if we talk about Ligue 1 only, oh no, actually not over here, but if we talk about Ligue 1 only, I think we're 24, at least 25 maximum games undefeated. If we talk about the Ligue 1 specifically, which is crazy. If you check over here, we only have one loss this season. So yeah, so how many? If we had one loss, yeah, that is quite crazy. So PSG's consistency, maybe we're not consistent with the wins we've had. I think we definitely had a lot of draws where we should have won, even a lot of draws we should have lost, like against Monaco, somehow 0-0. But I mean, yeah, the Luis Enrique effect. We're definitely more consistent. We know how to lose less games. If we check Barcelona now, they're second of the league. They're 8-point difference with Real Madrid. If we check their fixtures, they're like 1, 2, 3. They're pretty consistent as well, especially since in 2024 they've only had 3 losses in 2024, which is against Real Madrid. Not much to say there because Real Madrid is just one of the best teams. And then unfortunately against Athletic Club and Villarreal. But usually towards when it's the midpoint of the season, there's a lot of injuries. So I will respect that over here. Like I think Araujo was injured during this time. I think. No, he was playing. Okay, then Barca suck. Not my problem. Ter Stegen was injured, and Ter Stegen, man, he's definitely a key player for one of the. He's definitely very important for Barcelona. So yeah, it's gonna be very difficult. As I said, I love the way that Barcelona play, but I think PSG are the stronger team, as I said, because of the. I think having Luis Enrique. I think if we did not have Luis Enrique, Barcelona would beat us. But I think having Luis Enrique is a huge factor. We know, we kind of can counter Barca's play style because Luis Enrique, of course, he has insights on Barcelona. And then yeah, Madrid and City. I think there's not much to say here. Like even though let's say Madrid have are consistent, I think Man City, bro. Even if Man City lost a game against United, you can't say, oh, they lost against United, now Madrid are gonna beat them. I think at the end of the day, City are still stronger than Madrid. And then Arsenal and Bayern. Yeah, as I said, Bayern, man, their record is not looking good. If we take a look at their fixtures. Yeah, 3 games in a row they lost. Like they're just so inconsistent. We take a look at Arsenal on the other hand. Yeah, I think Arsenal are probably the better team here. I think it's about even, honestly. I think it can be a close game, but we'll see. I think that Harry Kane factor is huge, but yeah, that is that for the Champions League. Just talking about the Champions League. Let's go ahead and end it off with a footy tic-tac-toe and this footy bingo thing. So let's do a timer with this. Shoot. Mbembo, is he from Cameroon or Ghana? I think Cameroon. De Vrij plays for Inter. Bernardeschi is Italian. But he doesn't really fit anything else here. Was he managed by Ancelotti maybe? Wayne Rooney. Teammate with David Beckham. Otamendi is Argentinian. No, oh my, misclicked. Marco Verratti. Yeah, he managed by Ancelotti. Ancelotti managed PSG before. Caicedo plays. No, he plays for Chelsea. What am I thinking? Plia plays in the Bundesliga, but is he from Ghana? No. Mascherano, Argentinian. Gulaski. Is he from Denmark? I don't know. Yeah, Diego Forlan, Spanish goal scorer. I could have said World Cup top goal scorer as well. Christensen, Denmark. Clarence Seedorf. Did he win? I think he won. Well, he did. Now we know Govu. Did he play at Everton? I thought. Never mind. He doesn't. Tonali. I mean, like, what am I supposed to do here? He doesn't fit anything. Thomas Müller. Doesn't fit. Thiago Silva. Doesn't fit. Iñaki Williams. Ghana. Rafa Marquez. Yeah, I don't think he fits anything. Can we do wildcard? Yeah, he doesn't fit anything. Higuain. Doesn't fit anything. Let's just like go random. Luis Openda. Doesn't fit anything. Ronaldo Nazario, World Cup top goal scorer. Bamford. Did he play for Everton? No. Gerard Bowen for West Ham. Kulusevski for Spurs. Kudus does not fit for anything. Zaniolo, nothing. Defoe. No, he played for Spurs though, no? Messi, yeah, I think Messi played for Hungary, you know? Van der Vaart. I'm gonna guess Ajax because it's a Dutch. And then Richarlison, Everton. Gravenberch, because he doesn't fit. Unlucky, but that is that. And then let's go to our footy tic-tac-toe. Let's do no limits here. Okay. Portuguese and managed by Pep Guardiola. Let's go with Bernardo Silva. Portuguese and Atletico de Madrid. Not quite sure. Portuguese AC Milan, we can go with Rafael Leao. Chelsea, Atletico de Madrid, we can go with, what's his name? Is it, no, it's not Christensen, it's the other Spanish, Azpilicueta. Barcelona, Atletico de Madrid, Griezmann. Chelsea, Pep Guardiola, we can go with Kovacic. Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, we can go with Messi. Chelsea, AC Milan, we can go with Gullit. Barcelona, AC Milan, I guess we can go Eto'o or Ronaldo Nazario. You didn't, oh, he played at Inter, bro. What am I thinking? 74, 76, I don't know. Like, he played at Inter. What am I thinking, bro? Portuguese, Atletico de Madrid. Who can be Portuguese, Atletico de Madrid? Isn't there a left back who played for them? Not Nuno. It's not Nuno Tavares. There might have been a right back who played for them. Let's think of past players. Figo, no. João Felix. Easy. Do Marcus Rashford, Jude Bellingham celebration, Messi celebration. Too good, bro. Too good. But yeah, that is all. Talk about the Champions League quarterfinals. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell. Next podcast will probably be in, I think we have international break for the next 2 weeks. Next podcast will be at the end of the month, March 30th ish, March 31st. So that's when the next podcast will be. For now, stay happy, stay positive, stay flow, and I'll see you later. Au revoir. Goodbye.